What's up, everybody? It's your boy Nick here, and here we are. We are back with the Big Brother Recap Show. Well, technically, not the Big Brother Recap Show just yet. That's going to be tomorrow. But today, we are celebrating a special milestone for Big Brother. Uh, Granted, this is season 27, but this is the 25th year that Big Brother has been on U.S. television. Um, so to celebrate, we are going to count down the biggest moments of Big Brother history as we get closer and closer to the premiere of Big Brother 27 tonight. So hope you all are ready. I'm ready. I've waited so long to put this shirt back on. I'm so excited. It's gonna be a great summer, I can already tell. By the way, I have seen the cast already. I already know who's going into the house, but we're gonna talk about that in the next video. So for now, let's get set up and let's talk about the biggest moments in Big Brother history. Okay, let me get situated real quick. There we go. Okay, so this is the Big Brother 25th anniversary countdown. Oh, scratch that. I was at the end of my presentation. Let's go to the start of my presentation. There we go. I hope I'm still. Yeah, I still am. Okay. So let's start that again. Here is the Big Brother 25th anniversary countdown. In case you didn't know, that Big Brother premiered on July 5th, 2000, and that is a picture of the very first house guest to ever walk into the Big Brother house. My, we have come a long way since then. So let's dive right into the top 30 moments in Big Brother history. I wanted to do 25, but there were a. Hold up. Sorry about that. Okay, now without. I was going to say I was going to do 25 because of the 25th anniversary, but there was just a few more moments I had to put in the countdown just because it just needed to be. So let's dive right in with number 30 on our countdown. Um, Mr. Zingbot giving praise to the guy on the shirt. His first appearance was on Big Brother 12 back in 2010, and he has been a Big Brother staple ever since. He is now celebrating 15 years. He will be celebrating 15 years when he makes his appearance later on this season in Big Brother. If you don't know who Zingbot is, he is a robot who comes in and zings all the house guests, roasts them, if you will. And he's given some pretty bad roasts to some of the house guests. So, number 29, Christmas breaks her foot. In Big Brother 19, we had a contestant named Christmas who was horseplaying or horsing around and accidentally broke her foot in the process out in the backyard. And she was in and out of the house to get medical attention. She was not able to play in a lot of the competitions that season, but yet she relied solely on her social game and managed to get to the final three in Big Brother 19. She would then she would then finally get her redemption at competitions in Big Brother All Stars, which happened 3 years later, and made it to fourth place. So pretty good for Christmas. All right, number 28, Big Brother 10 Fight Night. So this from Big Brother 10, this was a pivotal fight night, not just anyone. Um, so I'll set the stage. There was a contestant in the house named Jesse. who you might know as Mr. Pectacular. He, I don't know, just people just didn't like Jesse. Uh, a big event that we're going to be talking about later in the countdown led to this fight night event. But so this is basically the aftermath of Jesse's eviction. Uh, People were not happy, especially his partner Michelle, who ended up winning HOH just moments after he was evicted. And that's when the fireworks went off. It was magic. Um, so in the picture, you see Libra and April, um, and they're just going at it. They are going at it with each other about Jesse, how Libra lied about uh, saving Jesse. As she was telling April, "Oh, we're gonna keep him. We're gonna keep him." So, and they straight up lied. Her and Keisha did. So I can't play you the video. I could probably play you the audio just of them bickering back and forth. Let me just look it up real quick. You could kind of hear it on the thing. Crazy. Oh my God. Hopefully you heard that. I don't know if you did. I tried to put it to the mic so you guys can hear me. I was gonna get my speaker, but I didn't get it in time. But that was a crazy fight, and that ultimately led to Libra's eviction the following week. So, but that fight was TV gold. So I don't think we'll ever get a group of girls like that ever again. Okay, number 27. Tucker saves Angela and Mackenzie saves Mackenzie. Um, oh man, I forgot to. I wish I could show you guys the reactions to what happened in this particular veto meeting. Uh, so basically, Tucker is on the block. He's going to say he was gonna save himself, but the people, but he wanted to save Angela just because they were working so closely together. But the HOH at the time, Cedric, was telling Tucker, "No, you need to save yourself. You don't have the votes." And Tucker wasn't listening, basically. Uh, so he went ahead with his plan and just gave the veto to Angela, and everyone was shooketh. Everyone's mouths dropped. It was another TV gold moment. um, and then just a few moments later, Cedric nominated Mackenzie for a replacement nominee. But what Cedric and the house guests didn't know was that Mackenzie had a special power. She had America's veto. She would save herself from the block and would give America the option to say to give the replacement nominee. So it was quite an explosive veto meeting, and Tucker and Cedric would later get into it right after the veto ceremony. Um, Now, a lot of these clips I won't be able to play on here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a playlist ready for you guys, and I'm going to put the link in the description so you guys can watch all these clips in one go. Okay, number 26, Caitlin's eviction. So Caitlin was evicted from Big Brother 20, but there was a special power that I think it was the bonus life or whatever it was called. But she was given, it was the last week to use it. So she would automatically, no one used it in the weeks prior, so she automatically was given the power up. So what this meant was Caitlin would have to compete in a competition to win to win her way back into the house. All she had to do was build a puzzle. Literally, that's all she had to do. You would think she would have been able to do it, but I guess the pressure got to her and she didn't make it in time, and she was ultimately evicted from the house. So, and it was a shocker moment of the season because, the puzzles that they do, those kind of puzzles, they don't make them hard. They really don't. So I don't know what Caitlin was doing, but the rest is history. It's in the history books now. Okay, number 25 on our countdown. Frankie Grande goes solo from the Battle of the Block competition. Now, Battle of the Block competition was when there were two HOHs. Each HOH had their own set of nominees. And then after the nomination ceremony, each of the nominees would go to battle in the Battle of the Block. If they won the competition, they would dethrone the HOH that nominated them. The losers would have to sit on the block, and the other HOH would still be in power. Frankie was teamed up with Caleb, and Caleb at this moment found out that Frankie was behind his girlfriend's eviction. Yeah, Caleb was being stalkerish. But Frankie convinced Caleb to let her go, to evict her. She's no good for him. But everybody threw Frankie under the bus. And so Caleb was furious at this point. So he basically said, I'm not playing this competition with you. You want to win this, you got to do this yourself. And sure enough, he did, because he ended up winning the Battle of the Block all by himself. He not only saved himself, but he saved Caleb in the process. And just moments afterwards, he would announce to his peers that he is Ariana Grande's brother. That was a secret he was keeping in the house. And this was at the time, you see, 2014, this was when Ariana Grande's music career was launching. I think her second album was uh, released at that time. Yeah, My Everything came out that year. So kudos to Frankie. I think he won the most competitions that season. So good for him. Number 24, the very infamous quote, floaters grab a life vest. This was said by Rachel Riley, or now Rachel Riley Vegas, from Big Brother 12. She would later play the following summer Big Brother 13, and she would win Big Brother 13. Um, So this is after she wins her second HOH competition. She would go to everybody else and say, "Floaters, grab a life vest," and then she would call out this girl Kristen because she was being a floater, and they get into it because Rachel accused her of making out with Hayden, another house guest who was part of the very infamous Brigade Alliance. So they just started going at it right then and there. So it was phenomenal. It was probably the first big fight of the season. So and so after this moment, everyone relates to this quote. They always go back to this quote, floaters grab a life vest. So okay, we're still keeping in this season. Number 23, Brittany finds out about the brigade. It hurts to know that you're getting evicted. It hurts even more to know that you're getting evicted days before the eviction even happens. This was what happened with Brittany. It was the final four in Big Brother 12, but the other competitors left in the house were all part of the Brigade Alliance. Brittany didn't win the veto, so the writing was on the wall. The brigade would sit her down and tell her she is going to be evicted come, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. It was just a few days later. So they sat her down and told her everything. It was probably the most heartbreaking moment of the season, knowing that you made it so close and now you're being told you're pretty much gone in just a few days. So it's a tough pill to swallow, and a lot of people felt for Brittany in this. She would get redemption later in Big Brother 14, but sadly, she became the second member of the jury that season. So she was sixth member of the jury. She was in final form on this one. But yeah, it was a really rough moment to watch. All right, number 22, the Six Finger Plan. So, in the early days of Big Brother, in the early days of the veto competitions, the head of household and the two nominees would each get to pick a player to play in the veto competition. They had now this guy right here, Jace, was the villain of the season. He basically was the villain of the season. And they had had enough of him. They tried to get him evicted the week before with his buddy Scott, but Jace ended up winning the veto and his buddy would pay for it by getting evicted that week. So they thought, let's get him out this week. And this moment right here is crucial because this was the very first Big Brother blindside that ever happened in history. So, head of household Jennifer or Nokomis would nominate Diane and what's his name? What was his name? What I'm trying to think of Marvin. Marvin. Okay, I'm sorry. Marvin and Diane were nominated by Nokomis. They each got to pick 3 people from their alliance to play in the veto competition. By the way, Jace wasn't even nominated, so they kept him safe. And being the cocky guy he is, he was feeling pretty good. Little did they know that they were going to win the veto regardless, and the veto was going to get used, and Nokomis was going to put Jace on the block, and everyone would vote him out. And this comes right after another huge moment on our countdown we're going to talk about later on. But needless to say, the Six Finger Plan is the reason why we choose players at random draw. Because after this, they were like, "Nah, we got to make it fair." So I think the following season, Big Brother 6, they had a wheel. They spun a wheel to determine who the players were. But this was a perfect plan. Back in 2004, she would have been praised for such a great Big Brother move. Number 21, Austin's barefoot eviction. I remember this moment. It was Final Five in Big Brother 17. Steve and Johnny Mac, were nominated, and I believe Johnny Mac won the veto to save himself off the block. So Vanessa, who was the current head of household, was not going to put up her friend Liz, so she had to put Vanessa's other friend Austin on the block, who was Liz's showmance at the moment. Then Julie drops the hint that, or drops the announcement that there's a surprise eviction, and Austin and Steve would have to prep themselves for that eviction that day. And here's another big blind side. Vanessa and Austin were like this, and Austin's over here thinking, all right, Steve is a pretty tough guy. Steve's been caught in some lies. This is it's time to send Steve home. Nope. Vanessa pulls the trigger on Austin and he's left stunned. It was beautiful music. I remember when this happened live. It was so good. I love those reactions. And this is 10 years this is 10 years ago. So, and we're still talking about it. It's crazy. Anyway, the big moment was that Austin did not put any shoes on. He just walked out barefoot. What was the funny part is that Julie already walked out the door. Her hand was already there, already there. She's like, "Nope, you ain't giving me a hug. You just gonna, you're just gonna grab my hand." Oops. Okay, here we go with the top 20. Number 20, Ian evicts Mike Boogie in Big Brother 14. Now, Mike Boogie was a phenomenal Big Brother player. He was the winner of Big Brother All Stars back in 2006. He re entered the house in Big Brother 14 as part of the coaches' twist, but then it was every man for himself, and the coaches re entered the game and played as individuals. Boogie and Ian were on the same team until Ian decided it was time to get Mike Boogie out of the house, and they had formed a alliance called the Quack Pack. Quack. Uh, Ian was part of this alliance, but Ian was the one that told, I believe it was Dan, that Mike was coming after him. So he told Boogie in his goodbye messages. But Ian evicting Boogie was very crucial. It's very pivotal because it paved the path for Ian to win Big Brother 14. We would later see Ian again on Big Brother All Stars back in 2020, where sadly he became the first member of the jury. So he got his little taste of eviction. Okay. Number 19. Bye bye bitches. Um, so this was a crucial week in Big Brother 6. Uh, Big Brother legend Kaser had just re-entered the house thanks to America's vote, and he was immediately put back up on the block, or basically backdoored. He basically was backdoored because Jennifer, the HOH, had made a promise with Kaser, we're not going to put you up. And then she ends up putting him on the block. It was utter betrayal, and it sends the house in. It's made the house spiral. And we have another event coming up on the countdown that's going to we're going to get more into it. But needless to say, after Kaser was evicted, Janelle wins her first head of household competition, the first of many, I will say. And she gets swept away by Howie, um, and tells the house guests, bye bye, bitches. And since then, people have used that phrase. In fact, in Big Brother 25, Big Brother 25, there was an alliance called the Bye Bye Bitches, formed with Sari, Felicia, Mimi, Izzy, and I think Bowie Jane was a part of it too. Uh, by the way, fun fact, I purchased a cameo from Howie. He is so awesome. Like it was so cool for him to send a video to me. I'm so excited. I was so happy when he got that. I also sent a cameo to Paulie from Big Brother 18, James from Big Brother 6, and Matt from Big Brother 12. There's and Kyland too. Kyland, they were all cool. So if you have cameo, you've got some money. I'm not gonna say go into your life savings, but like if you have a few bucks, send a request to these guys. They are real humble. They are real cool. Um, it's really nice. All right, so now these next events are tying with each other. Number 18, Janelle versus Bo. They had a huge fight in Big Brother 6, a huge drunken fight, I may add. So this was after Kaser was backdoored uh, by Jennifer. So Janelle had sipped a little bit. She's not a heavy drinker anymore, by the way. After this, I think she was done. Like she was done sipping. But she was like, I'm done being nice to all this house guests. And Bo had had some drinks too. And so they started yelling at each other, and then they get into each other's face and start like pushing each other, and they're like still trying to get at each other, so everyone's holding them back. And oh my god, the fight was unreal. I'm definitely going to put this on the playlist so you guys can see how crazy this fight was. Okay, number 17. Jen cries over her memory wall picture. Yes, this was a moment. This really did happen. This is the only house guest that ever did this. Um, so everybody takes a picture prior to entering the house that they want to put on the memory wall. Jen was so self-absorbed, like she was so fixated on herself, but I guess you could say in a positive way she was self-absorbed. Um, but anyway, she saw her memory wall photo and she like went up to the thing, was like, no, I can't look at it. And then she's in the diary room crying over the fact that her picture looks so bad. Honestly, it didn't. Like maybe the hair, maybe that's why she was fixated, but it wasn't that bad to cry over. Jen was one of those people in the house that everyone kept their eye on. Like she must have had fans that season because they wouldn't stop talking about her and all that. She became the second member of the jury that season. Number 16, the Cookout. Probably the only alliance to make it to the end without any evictions. And it's a toss up between the Brigade and the Cookout. Now, the Brigade did make it to the end. However, they did evict Matt, who was so it was Lane, Enzo, Hayden, and Matt. But Matt was evicted prior to them making it to the end. These guys made it to final six because it was a 6-person alliance, scotch free. That's why people are gonna rank the Cookout over the Brigade, because of that reason. So in the cookout, you have Hannah, you have Aza, Xavier, Derek, Tiffany, and Kyland. This was, and they orchestrated this alliance perfectly. They did not hang out with each other. What they did was they each found someone to latch on, kind of like what the brigade did. But the brigade hung out with each other way too much. What they would do is like they would hold like maybe two at a time, like they would kind of check in with each other um, here and there. Ultimately, their partners would have to take the fall for them in order to get everyone together. So, yeah. So basically, that's what they did. They focused more on their partners rather than just the alliance. And then once it was final six, then it was a free for all. Um, so again, beautifully orchestrated. Um, and it came at a crucial time too, when this was after the Black Lives Matter movement and everything. So it meant more to the cookout than any means, you know. All right, number 15 on our countdown. Janelle's competition wins on both Big Brother 6 and Big Brother 7. Uh, it's no secret Janelle was a comp beast. She made it to Final 3 twice, but was evicted one. She was always the last eviction before the final two, and she was the one house guest that was robbed out of everyone. It was pretty clear. If you want the, I have the receipts for you, by the way. So Janelle's comp wins history. She is second place for the most comp wins in a single season. Jag from season 25 beat her by one extra competition. I think he won one extra veto, but I have to double check. Um, in Big Brother 6, she won 2 head of households and 2 veto competitions. In Big Brother 7, which was the All Star season, she won 4 head of households and 5 vetoes. She was a force to be reckoned with. So, congrats to you, Janelle. Okay, we are halfway through the countdown, which is perfect because we're getting down to the wire before the Big Brother 27 premiere. Number 14, since we're still talking about Big Brother 6, the Sovereign 6 versus the Friendship. Now, in Big Brother, in recent Big Brother years, we've seen many alliances. In fact, we have a huge chart now. I think I usually go to Twitter to get these charts of alliances that are going on with each other. But in Big Brother 6, this is probably why Big Brother 6 is one of the best seasons, because it is literally a this or that season. You're either in, there were only 2 alliances that season. You were either in the Sovereign 6 or you were in the Friendship Alliance or the Nerd Herd. If you weren't in any of those alliances, you were getting picked off. But honestly, everybody was in an alliance. It was either one or the other. And so that made Big Brother 6 a huge battlefield. So when one person got into power, the other side was going to take the fall, and so on and so forth. And that's what made, you could say it made it predictable, but honestly, the drama that happened, we were talking about Janelle versus Bo and the whole Kaser situation, it made this season perfect. It really did. You guys got to go back and watch this season, honestly. All right, number 13 on the countdown, the twin twist, the first twin twist. We were talking about the six finger plan earlier in the countdown, and that happened just moments after the twin twist was revealed. Uh, I believe this is Adria right here. Adria entered the house, and on the side she had her twin Natalie hiding in sequester, and they would do every so often they would switch and they would compare notes, and then the other person would go in and get to know the others. If they survived the first, it was like the first 4, I think it was the first 4 evictions, then they would get to enter the house together and play as one, as their own people. uh and just moments before the twin twist was revealed, Jace, who we saw in the countdown, got into it with Adria about Scott being evicted. Apparently, Jace accused Adria of lying about Scott's vote when Scott had saved Adria because he was on the block. She was on the block when Holly was evicted. So that put the twin twist in jeopardy. So yeah, so a whole bunch of drama happened before the twin twist was revealed, and Jace's reaction was is golden. It's beautiful. And this would also, so the twins didn't make it to the end. I believe Natalie became the second member of the jury, and then Adria became the third. Now, this inspired the twin twist to return in Big Brother 17, which I mentioned Liz earlier. Liz had a twin named Julia, and they would do the exact same thing. But a Big Brother legend, Davon, discovered the twin twist. Sadly, she was evicted, so she couldn't really give a heads up or anything, but she figured it out right then and there. Again, they had to survive so many evictions before Julia got to enter the house as one person, as her own person. So this was a really good twist. It really worked out. And what's even better is that once they discovered the twin twist in Big Brother 17, they did a really good move. They used it to their advantage and be like, okay, let's protect Liz because when Julia comes in, that's an extra number for us. So, and they were the majority of the house right now, so they were able to do that with even if the other side of the house figured it out. I don't think it was like that on the other side on Big Brother 5. So, all right, number 12. Dr. Will hates everyone. I'm going to look up the speech real quick. This was a very crucial speech. I believe oops. Hold up. I had a message on my thing. So, Jace, we were just talking about Jace. He came back for Big Brother All Stars. I believe he was going to be nominated next to Will for eviction. Dr. Will, who won season 2, he was a mastermind. He told the whole house, basically, I hate everyone. So if you keep me in the house, I'm going to throw all the competitions, everything, until you guys evict me. So let me see if I can pull up. No, I'm not going to guess what. I'm going to see if I can pull up that audio real quick. I will post the video in the playlist. So, okay. I'll play the audio for you.
Traditionally, the nominees speak to the veto holder individually because they're looking for one person to help them. But if it's okay with George, the power of veto holder, and James, the HOH holder, I'd like to speak to the House as a group. This is truly an all-star season because I'm astonished by your gameplay here. Now, a lot of you have come up to me and you've said, Will, you don't really seem like you're into it. You don't really seem like you want to play. And you said, why? What was the reason for that? And I said to myself, I don't know. I don't know why I can't be. I don't understand it. So I had a heart-to-heart with myself. And I said, Will, what is the reason? Why are you having such a hard time playing? And this is the truth. Season 2, the season that I won, there was a lot of people I hated. And it was easy for me to motivate and find individuals that I disliked. And it gave me power. It gave me a reason to want to play. It gave me a reason to want to fight. It gave me a reason to want to remove people from the game. Then I thought, so why haven't I had that motivation? And I thought it was because I really liked everyone here. But then I realized it was the opposite of that. I can't find an individual to hate because I hate you all. There's no one I hate more than anyone else. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask to be removed from this game by you all. Now, if you refuse to kick me out, I will be throwing every competition. I will throw every HOH. I will throw every POV. And I will throw every food competition. George is on slop, and I will do the best I can to ensure that we all are on slop. Unless you get together, have a big group meeting, and vote me out. So Chicken George, please don't use the power of veto on me. I want this nomination to stay in place. I encourage you to use it yourself. You know why? This man is a badass.
Yeah, enough said. Hold on one sec. Sorry about that. This is a live stream, so. Okay, so hopefully you heard that audio. If not, then I encourage you to check out the playlist after the video. What a speech. And that speech took him to Final Four, by the way, before he finally got evicted. That's crazy. Number 11, Rachel versus Reagan. Probably, if you thought Rachel's fight earlier was crucial, this fight in particular was even better. Rachel and Reagan were going at it. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. So basically, Rachel, before she got evicted, this guy Reagan was basically kind of treating her funky. And so Rachel got evicted, and Reagan was not. Rachel got to go back into the house for 24 hours, and a war started between her and Reagan. So let me just play a little audio of the thing.
You're a wicked witch. Why don't you get on your broom and fly back inside? Oh, you're so funny. Why don't you insult me a little more?
Yeah, you guys have to watch this fight and just see each other stare each other down. It was beautiful. Okay, now we are down to the top 10 moments of Big Brother history, according to me. Oh, I have to look this one up so you guys can hear. Number 10 was Christine's eviction. Basically, she had double-crossed her friends Hayden and Nicole, who, by the way, went to win Big Brother 18. And of her relationship with Cody, who would go on to win Big Brother All-Stars, by the way. So the reason the most memorable part of her eviction is she stormed out of that house, did not say goodbye to anybody, and this was the result of that. Okay, I don't know if you heard that, but she got the loudest boos out of everyone, and that was their reaction to them booing. Oh, it was so. I shouldn't have been laughing, but yeah, that was a moment. When I first saw this, back when it was on TV, I didn't. So I'm gonna admit I didn't have cable at the time, but I had just subscribed to CBS All Access. So I was watching Big Brother through the app, and when I saw this, oh my god, I was shooketh. I was really shooketh. Number 9, Shane's eviction in Big Brother 14. Okay. So, evil mastermind Dan Giesling. He had won the final veto of the very final and most important veto of this season. Danielle, who you see at the top, was the head of household. She nominated Dan and Ian. Dan had won the veto, so he was going to take himself off the block. Shane was going to have to go up by default. And so they're thinking Ian's done. He's cooked. He's got too many votes in the jury. Let's send him home. Nope. Dan pulls the trigger on Shane, and Danielle is shooketh. Literally, she had Shane safe for the week, and it all came crashing down. Oh, it was a moment. The biggest blindside of the season, because and this is what ensured Ian's win, by the way. If Dan had sent Ian home, Dan would have won the game. So I don't know why Dan didn't do that. So, but it's in the history books now. Nothing we can do about that. But that was crazy. Number 8, Paul wins second place twice. That's right. Paul was a house guest in Big Brother 18 and Big Brother 19. Lasted both seasons, only to face Okay, so Big Brother 18 was a close vote. One vote determined the winner, and Da'Vonne ended up casting the deciding vote. And Da'Vonne stayed true to her word, and that's why she's a Big Brother legend. She gave her vote to the best player. Because Paul had said some stuff in that season, and it rubbed a lot of girls the wrong way. Nicole, she did Da'Vonne dirty, but Da'Vonne gave credit where credit was due. And that's how Nicole won season 18. Now, Paul returned for season 19, and he was being deemed as a bully, allegedly. I don't want to get in trouble, so I have to say allegedly. That rubbed a lot of the jury people the wrong way, and that ultimately led it to a landslide vote for Josh. I think he may have got 1 or 2 votes, but the majority voted Josh. And Paul, which, by the way, he is wearing that same shirt for finale nights, you know. But yeah, it was tough to be that close and not win it. All that hard work at Redemption, and it was for nothing. Which, by the way, if you've seen that show House of Villains, Paul will be making an appearance on season 3. It's on Peacock. You want to go check it out this fall. Number 7, Angela Goes Crazy. Oh my God! Last season, I wish I had done the recap show for last season because there was just I would have gave so much of my opinion on Angela. Child, I'm not even gonna talk about this moment. Just Angela in general. The moment where she was basically being prejudiced against Matt, or classifying him, or how just being prejudiced, singling him out. I think that's the word. Yeah, and then ends up having a fight on day 3 or 4 with Matt. Not to mention all the moments she went crazy on all the house guests at some point, crying all the time. Like, oh my God, this woman, you know? Oh, Angela, you will not be missed. That's for sure. Okay, number 6, Taylor Hale wins Big Brother 24. A lot of people felt for Taylor in this season because she was subjected to a lot of hate, and she was able to prevail above all of that to win Big Brother 24. She became the first Black woman to win Big Brother, a full Big Brother season. The first one was actually Tamar Braxton for Celebrity Big Brother back in 2019, which, fingers crossed, we could be getting another season in the winter. We'll find out at some point this season. Let's also not forget about the first Black winner of Big Brother, which was Xavier in the season before this, Big Brother 23. Now, here's the difference between Xavier's win and Taylor's win. Xavier's win, I predicted from the very start, and I remember this. When I made my final 2 picks, I picked Xavier from the very beginning because I just felt with his lawyer background and all that, he knew how to put on a poker face and persuade people. I think his path to victory was pretty set in stone. Taylor's, not so much. Taylor had a much difficult journey, especially in the first weeks of the game when people were hating on her. 2 people in particular, Nicole and Daniel, and the house was ready to send her home until Joseph rallied up the troops and created the Leftovers Alliance to save Taylor. And she would ride with them until they started picking each other off one by one. Anyway, so Taylor would go on to the final 2. She would take Monty with her, and she made a really big speech about, I'm not a victim, I'm a victor. That was the highlight of that speech. And just talking about all the times she got nominated, all the hate she had to go through, just working on their social game, and just it was she went through a lot. And so Taylor has become relevant. She is still relevant to this day. She's focused on her interviewing career or broadcasting. She started running the jury debates, the jury roundtables last season. We could see her again this year. Um, we could be seeing her for some other stuff soon, and we'll talk about that later on. So, but anyway, yeah. All right, number 5, the coup d'etat. Probably the biggest Big Brother twist in history that people seem to forget about. And it was a crucial one because the aftermath of the coup d'etat was mind blowing. So you see in the picture, Jeff. You also see Jesse, the one we've been talking about already in this countdown. He returned for Big Brother 11. So Jeff used the coup d'etat to take down Lydia and Russell from the block under Shima's HOH, basically dethroning her HOH reign, and put up Natalie and Jesse. So after this, Jesse was evicted, and the house spiraled. Shima and Lydia and Natalie were so pissed, and this led to Shima acting up and ultimately getting expelled from the game. And then Lydia got drunk on the HOH competition and started mouthing off to people about Jesse and all that, and started fighting with everyone, and that ultimately led to her eviction. So just the aftermath. Oh, I can't wait for you guys to see this. Number 4, Keisha's birthday. The most memorable birthday in Big Brother history for all the wrong reasons. Let's talk about our boy Jesse again, because he was at the center of this birthday massacre. Libra and Keisha were fighting with April and Jesse about who knows what, but they were going to sing happy birthday to Keisha, but they sang happy birthday to her, and then they just started going at it again, and Keisha just started mouthing off at Jesse, and oh my god, you guys got to check this out. I'll leave a little thing for you, but on YouTube there is a Big Brother After Dark episode where it has the whole birthday celebration. Like, oh my god, you guys gotta watch. So check that out. Keisha would later return for Big Brother All Stars, by the way. Number 3, Marcellus's eviction in Big Brother 3. Marcellus had won the power of veto. He was nominated next to his friend Amy, but he chose not to use the veto on himself, so he wouldn't have to make it. I don't know if he wanted to risk Amy going home or what have you, but it didn't work out for him because he would be the one going home, thanks to a tiebreaker vote. It was ultimately the dumbest move in Big Brother history. The second dumbest move was this guy Mike. He was trying to get Evil Dick in Big Brother 8 to lose the veto competition, and which he was the HOH at the time, by the way. So he's like, if I lose, you're going to be the replacement nominee, because the one who won the veto was going to take herself off the block. It was Jen. So he just basically set himself up for eviction at that moment. But this is the number 1 dumbest moment. If you have the golden power veto, you take yourself off the block, okay? All right, number 2, the secret siblings. So in Big Brother 5, we've talked about Nokomis already, but this is her brother, Michael, who was known as Cowboy at the time. They did not know that they were secretly siblings until they got a letter saying, Michael is your brother, and he didn't know his dad for the longest of time. And so they finally like shared pics and everything. Like it was a heartfelt moment, and it's amazing that Big Brother can do this kind of stuff, bring family members together and do this kind of stuff. And as of 2019, they were still talking to each other. Like there was a picture of them with their dad. It was cute. It was really good to see them. Nokomis finished 4th that season. Cowboy made it to final 2 and was the runner-up for that season. So beautiful. All right, drum roll, please. The number 1 moment of Big Brother history is Dan's funeral. This is the moment that everyone will talk about when you say, what's the best moment in Big Brother history? It's this one right here. It was crucial. So, real quick, Frank was the HOH this week. Dan was nominated for eviction. He lost the veto competition. I also should mention there's a second veto that was given this week. So Dan was a dead man walking, and he got sent to solitary confinement as a result of the veto competition. In that time, he concocted a plan to save himself because he knew he was in deep doo doo. So he hosts this little funeral for Dan the player. He says a special message to everyone about, how he feels about them, and he saves the best one for last, which is his own partner, Danielle. Let me see if I can find this. So here's a little snippet of what he said to Danielle that made her look like this.
So don't come at me and ask about it because it's over. Moving forward, we can be friends outside of this. I'll be friends with all of you. But the game talk for me ends now. So I hope you guys understand that this was the death of Dan the player. I want the rest of the experience to be fun for everyone and not awkward. I really appreciate it.
Shooketh. I hope you could hear that, but shooketh. He was a dead man walking. And he concocted, oh, by the way, after this funeral, he pulls the HOH up to the room and blows up the Quack Pack that we mentioned earlier. Quack, quack. He throws Ian under the bus. He throws Brittany under the bus, and Danielle, and Shane. And luckily for Ian, he had won the veto that week, so he was safe. But Brittany, who we did talk about earlier, would fall victim to Dan's funeral and was evicted that same week. But Danielle is shooketh to the core. Like, she doesn't know where that came from, what she even did, and she was just heartbroken. This was TV gold right here. Like, you will never get a moment like this ever again. And then, so ultimately, Dan got the veto used on him by Jen. Ian wasn't going to save him. So, yeah, it was just crazy. And then Dan goes to Danielle after and basically breaks bread with her and basically tells her, I did that so I could save you and me. So, yeah, that's a pretty dick move. I'm not gonna lie. But it worked because it saved his life that week, and it would take him to final two. This was the moment that got him into the final two. So even though they had an opportunity to get him out, why didn't they take that shot? I don't know. But that will forever be the number one moment in Big Brother history. For sure. Like I said, hopefully you guys were able to see or able to hear the audio. If you didn't, don't worry. I'm going to put a playlist so you guys can see all these moments. But that about wraps up for the top 30 countdown. There were so many to choose from, and I was able to narrow it down to 30. And I think these moments hold pretty true to Big Brother's legacy. So, all right, now the moment we've been waiting for. Let's talk about the Big Brother recap show. So, After a year-long hiatus, it is time to bring back my recap show. If you have never seen my recap show, I advise you to go to my channel after this video and watch some previous episodes. I've done a couple seasons of these, starting with Big Brother 23, I believe. Uh, yeah, Big Brother 23. So, yeah, I strongly suggest, basically, we're going to break down the entire week of Big Brother, and we'll talk about any twists, everything. We'll talk about alliances, what's going on, the state of the house. That's basically how the recap show is going to go. And we'll have the memory wall up. I will play out the eviction. We'll see what happens there. I'll give my opinion on the week. So yeah, I'm going to have to do some homework. And that is basically how the recap show is going to be. It's just going to be an open forum to talk about the week. Now, tomorrow will be the Big Brother recap show premiere, 5:00 p.m. Pacific time, 8:00 p.m. Eastern time. In tomorrow's show, we are going to meet the cast. As I mentioned earlier, I have gone online and I have now received the cast reveal. So now I'm going to go look at these house guests. I'm going to make my notes and get situated, familiarize myself with the 16 people that we're going to be watching all summer. Or at least I hope it's going to be 16, because they always want to throw us for a loop and bring in a 17th house guest. So we'll wait and see. As for the twists, there's possibly a surprise coming on premiere night. We don't know much about it. We're not going to know about it until the premiere kicks off. So we're getting really close. So, and then of course at the end of the video, I'm going to give you my final two picks, one guy and one girl who I think will make it to the end. So we'll have to wait and see. I've got a few hours to make my picks. And that about does it. Let me stop sharing. There we go. Well, that was a lot of talking. Anyway, I'm really excited for this. I've been waiting a whole year to do the recap. Again, I haven't done this since 2023, so I'm really happy to get back into this. I will do my best to keep it going on a set schedule. We're looking at Friday recaps, and we will discuss the entire week. All my contact info is going to be on the description below. So, and I'm trying to figure out how to get. I'm going to get Twitter set up, or X. I'm getting my account set up so I can link my X username, whatever, onto the description. So if you guys want to talk Big Brother, hit me up there. But let's do this. I'm ready. Another season of Big Brother is upon us. So I'm going to go ahead and end it so we can get going. I'm going to get on the TV and we're going to put on Big Brother. It is starting right now on CBS, Paramount Plus. Let's have a great premiere. I can't wait for the surprise that's coming up. I don't know what it is. I'm hearing people are going to be entering the house. There's some random people that are going to enter after the house guests move in. So let's go find out what that is. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the recap show. Bye.